So yeah, we're getting into some Reddit stories today, y'all. We're just gonna have some fun with this. We got some good feedback on doing the Reddit stories last time. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this though. Y'all can relate. And y'all chime in, let us know what y'all think about these stories down in the comment section also.
Tell me if you like it when I kiss on your lips. Guide you through the valley of an ocean. Make you breathe in slow motion. Read your mind and come explore the galaxy. Have a little taste of my gravy.
There's an endless amount of podcasts on the web that claim to be real and raw. And then you listen and realize it's the same politically correct bullshit. Show after show after show. We, on the other hand, are proud to be completely different. This is X the Script. You want real. You want raw. You want uncut conversations about relationships, sex, current events, pop culture, spicy red room confessions. If it's happening in the world, we're talking about it. And you can be sure we'll be direct about it. And we'll be having a blast doing it. Bringing the funny, bringing the sexy, bringing the loud and crazy. This is X the Script. And now your hosts, Asia and BJ.
What's good, y'all? It's your girl, Asia.
It's your boy, BJ, and this is X the Script.
What's good, y'all?
Wow.
We back up in here. Happy Tuesday. Everybody's Tuesday today, y'all. It's Tuesday today. So y'all probably won't see this until tomorrow, but you know. How's everybody doing?
Top of the morning.
Yes, early in the morning, y'all. I hope everybody's morning is going good. Did y'all get y'all's coffee and y'all's donuts and y'all's, healthy stuff on the way to work today?
You're going to say donuts and kolaches, and then you're going to say healthy stuff.
Get your hot chocolate and stuff, whatever it is that you drink.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, your morning tea, however it goes, okay?
Yeah, I should have got me like a green tea. I need a nice hot matcha green tea.
Yeah, you love the matcha green teas.
Yeah, that was really, really good.
Yeah, you let me taste it. It wasn't that bad. I'm not a tea.
I'm
not a tea lover though.
Yeah,
but it tasted good the way that you did it. I would have never got something like that. I would never.
You be having
tea.
me bothered.
I don't care
because you don't want to drink tea, and I'm like, babe.
You sound like a hater.
Some nice cold.
There's a lot of people out there that don't drink
sweet
tea. Don't make it sound
tea.
like it's just me. Nope, it's not just me. How many people put in the comments if you don't drink tea and why?
Okay.
I bet we all gonna have the same reason as to why we don't like tea.
No, they're not.
It's so bitter.
You're gonna be very disappointed because you're gonna be the only one left out.
I'm not gonna be the only one.
You definitely gonna be the only one left out.
It does it has a sweet taste to it, but it's like a bittersweet. And I'm like, I feel like I'm getting cheated out the sugar here.
Nah, ain't nothing but love all in that picture. I'm telling you.
I don't even. Well, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Okay, nothing. I'm gonna keep going on your tea subject, but we can drop it because it's not important.
No,
that's not important.
It's not, because at the end of the day, I'm gonna make sure you drink some tea today.
Why would you do? I just said
peach, raspberry. Which one?
I don't want none of that.
Pick either one.
No,
and we're gonna go with it.
You can have it on y'all. Anytime BJ gets the little Lipton tea at the store, you know how it comes in the gallon. He brings it home like he all proud and everything that he got it. He like, I got some tea, and I'm like, you gonna be the only one drinking it. But sometimes I feel like you do that on purpose.
That's the reason why I get it, because
as I'm sitting here saying
that's the only thing in the house that you're not gonna touch. You're gonna drink everything else. When you leave that tea there, I'm just like, okay, cool.
Okay, I'm gonna come up with my something that you don't like, and I'm gonna start getting string cheese.
No, I'm talking about drink.
I got you beat on string cheese anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can have all the cheese you want, but like I said, when it comes down to like the tea, you know, I gotta have a little bit of tea here and there, at least once every other day.
So you
know
think?
What I mean?
Anyway.
But I'm super excited. I'm ecstatic.
Yeah, same.
I'm in good spirits. You know I'm in good spirits, right?
Why?
I was sitting here screaming at the TV all night.
Why?
The Dallas Cowboys beat the New York Giants 40-0.
Oh, you sure was acting up. You were clowning.
Season opener.
You were clowning. Was that the very first game of the season?
For the Cowboys, yes.
They sure whooped up on them boys though. At one point I looked at the score, it was 40-0. Did they ever score?
That's what I'm saying. That's how the game ended.
Oh,
40-0.
Wow. I feel like I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I
should have threw on the
I mean,
Cowboys
I guess,
hat today.
because they get paid and stuff, I'm going to show up at practice. But, like, after we leave and stuff, when the game is over,
Yeah.
I'm going to be the first one off the field. Okay, I'm not coming out the locker room to talk to the media. Okay, I'm not in the.
Well, they're
I'm
gonna
not in
withhold
the-
your check.
I'm not in the spirit to talk about this game today.
Yeah, but they're gonna withhold your check.
If anybody in New York,
Little do you know, when you sign a contract, it does require media obligations.
okay.
You know what I mean?
Well, they
So-
gonna have to exclude me this time.
And since you the MVP,
Well, and what am I gonna get up there and say?
and since you the MVP and you the player of the game, you the most valuable player. You got to say something every
No.
single day,
Okay, so what?
every single game.
You know how you come out and you be the loser of the game, and they be like, "How does it feel to get
to lose.
to lose with a score of 40-0? How do you feel about that? What's the answer?
You're gonna have to come up with something. You got to come up with something. You can't just sit there and look at them like you.
And then you got to come up with this pitiful answer, like, "Oh yeah, our defense
Yeah,
just wasn't on their greatest tonight. It looks like 2 of our players got injured. Our starting quarterback got taken out.
We just got to go back to the starting board. We just got to go back to the drawing board. We just got to reassess everything that we did. They just had our number today.
They just outplayed us. But
you can't-
but it's been a heck of a game.
But you can't give them the Marshawn Lynch. You can't give them the Marshawn Lynch.
Stand there and say nothing.
Right.
Okay.
You can't do that.
I
You
mean, that
gotta say
counts.
something.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, what you want me to get out here and say?
But right now, like I said, I'm just feeling good. A lot of people send me a lot of good messages saying, "Man, shout out to the Cowboys.
Yeah.
They doing their thing." So, hey, until next Sunday. Hey, that's how we rocking
It's
right
hard to for me to get on the football, the sports bandwagon. Man.
It's crazy.
I'm
It's
just,
crazy right now.
I don't know. I can't. I like to watch it with you because you watch it. Because remember when you met me, and I didn't know anything about football. Like, I'm so confused. I don't know what the fourth down was. Couldn't tell me what the number 1 through 10 was. Why they keep putting that up there every time they do something. And
if I had asked you about football when I first met you, you probably thought I was talking about soccer.
oh my god,
I'm just keeping it 100, 1,000 wild with you right now.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
No idea, especially with football. It's crazy because I was athletic in school.
Yeah.
But I never understood football.
I feel like more than ever, even more, even now, like more than ever, like women are like really, really like.
Oh yeah, I see that.
just, you know,
They're fanatics.
just fanatics.
They
just
can really
going
get into
crazy.
it now. I don't know. I feel like times have evolved. Maybe it's just because I've just grown up and I've gotten older, but I see that so much more now with ladies getting into like the football or just sports in general. Baseball is another one that I feel like, is coming popular. Like just women in general and with sports,
They're getting into it a lot more than
Yeah.
ever. You know what I
Do
mean?
women like do bets and stuff? Like, do they do the betting games and stuff with or do they just? Are they probably not so much into that part of it? It's just
people
I can
do
enjoy the game.
People do because, like I said, now they have like those platforms and things of that nature, like apps and stuff where you can go to where you can place bets and do like the fantasy.
Yeah.
And wager bets.
Got you.
So everybody do it.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody do it. Somebody sent me a screenshot. They made like $3,800 this past weekend.
See, that's okay. Well, I'm not even going to get into the whole
I'm-
betting. Y'all know I'm not
I'm
doing
like,
that.
bro, you doing your thing.
How much
but
money did you put in there to get that $3,800 though?
I didn't. He didn't even show that part.
Right.
Probably like 1,000,
Right.
900 or something
Yeah.
like that.
No, because if I lose that, I'm be mad.
Yeah, but
Just
no,
sad.
no. I saw a headline with Antonio Brown. He's an ex wide receiver in the NFL. He lost like 120,000 betting on the Minnesota Vikings.
No way.
He lost 120
No way.
grand.
It is not worth it. When I tell you somebody going to be after my head trying to place a bet because the second I got to come up with some money, I'm out. Okay?
Yeah, you one
I
of
was
those
just
sore
playing.
losers. Yeah, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all right
I
now.
was just playing.
Right now, Asia, she like one of those sore losers. It's like she like to put up a bet and she gonna bet you, but when
Bet.
she lose, she gonna come up with an excuse to say
I don't care
why
what you say.
why she can't pay you.
Right.
Try to renege on the bet.
I'm not going to answer the phone.
And I'm like, there ain't no reneging.
You going to get straight voicemailed if you try to call me and reach out. I'm going to disappear for about a month
Yeah.
on you, okay? The disappearing act,
So
just like that.
like I said, I learned about you before. You didn't even give me $20 when we betted the one time. or whatever it was. It was like the Golden State Warriors. It was like the Golden State Warriors when they was in the NBA Finals against the Cavaliers.
But every
and you
time,
saw me cheering, and you was like,
no, I'm just not a good bettor. It just feels like every time I bet, I lose. Every time.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's just a friendly competition bet, like, and I don't bet anything. It's just like the pie in the face.
But the thing about it is that you don't have any rhyme or reason to how you bet. Like you don't look at any analytics. You don't look at any stats.
I just like the colors.
You just
of
like
the
the colors of the team. Oh, that's LeBron team. Okay, well I'm betting for LeBron team, not knowing that half of his team is depleted.
Whoever
and
got
injured,
the cutest colors,
you know. Hey,
they look the best on the field. I'm gonna go with that team.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Like I said, I'll never put my faith in you betting for me.
You sound like a hater. Okay.
But yeah, like I said. That's another reason why I woke up today on the right side of the bed. The Cowboys got their first win of the year. But shout out to everybody. Shout out to all those sports lovers. And, man, what we going to get into today?
Yeah. Well, first, y'all, thank y'all for coming in. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, smash the notification bell so you don't miss any videos from Asia and BJ. If you listen to us on our streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple, iTunes, iHeart, all that good stuff, y'all, make sure y'all hit the downloads. Leave us a lovely review. I would certainly appreciate it. Y'all help us grow this channel, okay, and spread the love. Share the video, okay?
Absolutely.
Stuff.
And we've been looking at those analytics for those downloads.
Y'all been showing some major love.
Y'all really been tapping in with us in a major way.
Yeah.
Like I said, not just going to YouTube, but everybody been going like that extra step.
Yeah.
And actually going to these platforms. So major love, y'all. We thank you.
Yeah, y'all. So today, y'all
see that topic now.
So we getting into like, in-laws in general. So I guess you could say daughter-in-laws, mom-in-laws, savage in-laws.
Brother-in-laws.
This should be like probably close to like an unhinged type of thing, okay?
Yeah.
Like where, how many people out there got like the worst freaking in-laws like in life? Like where it's just like, oh my gosh.
Why did I have to get paired with y'all?
Right. But they love the heck out of their husband or their wife.
Yeah.
And you can't tell me no different. It's like I love the heck out of my man, or I love I think the world of my wife.
Right.
But I can't stand her mama.
Yeah. I love my husband. I would do anything for my husband. I run in front of a truck. I take a bullet for my husband, but I cannot stand his sister.
Yeah. Yo, yeah. I bet there's
and
a lot.
her kids.
It would be like a lot of that.
And I can't stand her baby daddy either.
The sisters and brothers-in-laws and stuff like that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Just saying. So yeah, we're getting into some Reddit stories today, y'all. We're just gonna have some fun with this. We got some good feedback on doing the Reddit stories last time. So this time I tried to put it in a little bit of a circle instead of it being kind of all over the place. So hopefully y'all enjoy this, though.
Yeah.
Y'all can relate. And y'all chime in and let us know what y'all think about these stories down in the comment section also.
Absolutely.
So you ready to hop in? All right. Am I the asshole for yelling at my pregnant sister-in-law and telling my husband to choose me or her? See, I know the title sounds wrong, but please hear me out here. I'm currently typing this up while my husband's entire family is sitting downstairs. So I, 29-year-old female, have been married to my husband for 8 years. About 2 months ago, I had my third miscarriage, 31 weeks. I won't be talking about it because it makes me feel so depressed, but you'll need to remember this. About 4 months ago, my sister-in-law, who's 20, came crying at our doorstep, telling us she's pregnant and her boyfriend didn't want anything to do with the pregnancy and had nowhere to go. My husband and I openly took her in, welcomed her into our home with open arms. For the first few weeks, it was really hard for her, understandably. I sat with her for hours, holding her when she cried, binging our favorite TV shows, eating so much ice cream we quite literally fell into a coma. It was really bonding for us, so I thought. Here's where it starts going downhill. I take pride in my neat, clean home. My sister-in-law, on the other hand, did not. She would leave her clothes all around the house, leave her dirty dishes wherever she went and leaving her sex toys on our living room table. I tried to talk to her directly before I talked to my husband. She immediately started crying and told me she would try to be cleaner. I hugged her, told her it was okay, but this is a clear boundary for me. She told me it wouldn't happen again, But it only got worse. She told me I was expecting to do her laundry, dishes, and clean her room daily because she's
What?
the pregnant one. Well, I
Okay.
do understand how hard it is being pregnant. I just couldn't allow feeling like a maid in my own home. Disclaimer, I bought this house, not my husband. It was all me. Not to mention my recent loss of my child. So I told my husband, but what he told me shocked me. His exact words were, honey, she's going through a lot right now. We really should be helping her out. Plus, it might make you feel better to take care of someone who's pregnant. I was pissed, to say the least. Make me feel better? She's going through a lot? We need to help her? Letting her stay with us wasn't enough? While I don't want to invalidate her pain, my husband and I were also going through our own problems. Anyways, we moved on. I did my best to maintain work and the household chores. My husband works 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., so he isn't around to help much. I work full time from home, so it's been super stressful. When I even tried to ask for help from my sister in law, she always makes an excuse, even if she's just watching TV. The one thing that pushed me over the edge was I went out to buy my one food that I actually enjoy eating after my
Uh-oh.
miscarriage. I wrote, oh, back to that again. I wrote my name on it and directly asked my sister in law to not eat it. Well, I went to go to the fridge to get it, and you'll never guess. She freaking ate it.
It's gone.
Now you may think it's just food. I buy all the groceries, basically pay all the bills. I don't mind people having some of my food, but the one thing I ask to not be touched gets touched. I told my husband, and of course he rubbed it in my face, that she's pregnant. I need to be less selfish, and life is about sacrifices. I was so upset. I told him I felt like him and her were the horrible roommates people talk about on Reddit. He didn't take that well.
Mm-mm.
which leads us
Sound like they
to,
ganging up on her.
right? Mind you, though, they're brother and sister. Yeah. Which leads us to my title. My sister-in-law planned a random baby shower party thing at my house. I personally didn't know if I could even be home when this was happening. I felt so hurt that she wouldn't talk to me knowing everything that has happened and that she would just invite random strangers into another person's home before asking. My husband urged me to go, told him it would permanently affect mine and her relationship. So I told him I'd go. About halfway through the party, my husband and sister-in-law announced that they wanted to show the nursery to everyone. I was confused. Nursery? She was staying that long? What room did she turn into a nursery? They told everyone to head upstairs. That's when it hit me. They were talking about my nursery for my
Oh
baby.
my
I
God.
had just lost. A wave of emotions hit me when I saw everyone in my baby's nursery telling her what a good job they did setting it up. My setup for my baby that my body failed to give me. I just lost it. I started sobbing, then the sadness turned into pure rage. I started yelling at my sister-in-law, telling her she's the foulest human for putting me through everything she has for the last few months, making me feel like I was a maid or an object for her convenience. Through choked up tears, I turned to my husband, whose jaw was on the floor. I turned my head to see his entire family just staring at me. I lost it again, yelling. I looked at my sister-in-law, telling her, how dare she use my nursery for my baby? How dare she think she has a right? What she told me made me fall to my knees sobbing. It's not my fault you couldn't produce a child. Why let this go to waste? You are so selfish. My husband tried to pick me up off the floor, but I yelled again, standing to my knees, which were now shaking. I told him, pick. A dumbfounded look on his face. I yelled again, pick me or her. He couldn't even muster up anything to say. I just looked at him. Pure betrayal. I pushed past the crowd of family and ran straight up here to type this out. Even if no one sees this, at least it's helped me let these emotions out. Now's the point where I ask, am I the asshole?
Okay, wait. Now, I think you skipped something right there. I think you skipped something like in between her, in between time, in the meantime, like when she said, "Pick me or pick her." There had to be somewhere where she said where she slapped the shit out of her somewhere in between her. She had to have slapped her somewhere. That's like foul. That shit foul.
Is that not messed up though?
Okay, like some of the other stuff was kind of petty.
I totally think she's not the asshole though.
Some of the stuff
1,000% not.
No, she's not. Some of the stuff was like, okay, I can kind of see past that a little bit regarding like the food and her kind of being a little messy.
Yeah.
You know, I can kind of look past that. But when you got to the nursery to take the other family members to go see the nursery, like the nursery that you had planned for your child, that you had a miscarriage at 31 weeks, like that, like think about how think about how insensitive that is to use that.
I mean, 31 weeks thing kind of throws me off a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, because I feel like people have like they deliver early, like where they have a preemie that'll come, like, but 9 weeks to me like seems like.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying when you said 31.
Yeah.
And she had a miscarriage at 31.
I mean, because technically you can have I don't want to say that, but you can have it a couple weeks early.
Yeah.
And it'll still be fine.
Yeah, but nonetheless, like you said, she still had a miscarriage and she still is going through that type of trauma.
Yeah,
she is not the asshole at all. One thing that I'm already seeing right there too as well is like the dynamic between like
the brother and
her
the
husband, and the sister-in-law, because like now it's like he's not even putting his own wife first.
Yeah.
And he's using the excuse of his sister being pregnant. To kind of give her out for all of this other shit that she's doing.
Well, granted, and she's
being
young.
lazy.
She's young. She's 20 years old.
Right.
So it's not like she's just going to have everything together, in general. I feel like that's your average 20-year-old. It's just like they're just careless,
Yeah.
And not necessarily that. Obviously, now the sex toys things and leaving the sex toys out for me, I'm just like, girl, okay, you got to get this under control because this shit is nasty as hell. I do not want to pick that up.
I don't want to see it.
I don't either.
But
in terms, like, I do think that it's very selfish of her.
Where her baby daddy at?
He said that he didn't want nothing to do with the baby. That's
I
why
know,
she showed up at the door.
But where is he? Like, she need to go find him and be on his timeline. And
you know what though? But like, even to say that, like, as a young, okay, I understand. Again, going back to the 20 thing, you're young. You are kind of all over the place to some degree, But like when you get pregnant, I just feel like even for me, when I got pregnant at a very young age, and I just felt like my instincts just kicked into overdrive. We're not doing this, like in terms of just failing. Like we're gonna have horrible situations, be in these awful. And that happened anyway. But that was just my mentality. So even to say that, it's just like, dang girl, went over to this whole house.
She done took over the whole house at this point.
And not only that, but I think you selfish as hell for thinking that you just gonna turn her nursery without even asking her permission. Perhaps that probably would have happened, regardless, because she is about to have a baby. However, female, you done lost your everlasting damn mind.
She lost her mind, and she could at least asked her about it and talked to her about it. It's like you completely stepped over the boundary. You done stepped over that line. You done stepped over that line where you can't even cross it. You can't even get back on the other side no more.
But
because she's gonna remember that forever.
I feel like she's also ruining the relationship between the girl, the one that owns the house, the woman of the house, and the husband too. Like
to a degree.
Not to mention they already got problems. So now you got this whole nother problem coming in here that's really kind of stretching y'all thin at this point and doing things without your permission in my house. Like, I feel like respectfully, I would have told her, you have to go. Like, you have to go find somewhere. Like, you have 2 weeks to find somewhere else to be. so that you can find a better, more suitable living situation. Just because in this instance, in this situation, I feel like she was being very insensitive to
Absolutely
what
she
she's
is.
gone through. She's had multiple miscarriages,
Yeah.
and then, not to mention, I'm sure she had baby stuff in there that she had already purchased, furniture that she
And that's almost like her sanctuary.
right. So
That's like a very, very sensitive topic and a sensitive
absolutely.
subject, and she's not even like acknowledging that. And I'm not even finna sit here and use that as an excuse as far as her age and being young.
Yeah.
I feel like you're an adult. You 20
So you
years
don't think
old.
that plays a factor? You don't have any?
It does to a degree, but at the end of the day, it's as far as your empathy for somebody else, as far as being sensitive to somebody else's feelings and what somebody else is going through,
Yeah.
you got to have some type of cognitive understanding to know that this is your sister-in-law and you're living at your sister-in-law and your brother's house.
Wow.
And you got to have some type of like responsibility and just gratitude. It just seems like she don't have no gratitude.
No.
She bought food and put her name on it, like
and she still ate it.
yeah, because
But that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like she just keeps crossing those boundaries. Like you keep testing me. Like you
not
came
even
in,
testing, like you just stepping all over my shit.
That's what I'm saying. But you came in, like you made me feel sorry for you. You got me in. You pulled at my little heartstrings.
Mhm.
We binged, watched the shows together. We cried together. I listened to you. I heard you out.
Yeah.
And for somebody that goes through that, obviously they're going through a lot, right? Like
Mhm.
a lot. Painful hurt in a sense, because that's the last thing that you would want to happen, being pregnant and then alone at that. But then you go into somebody's house and then you're 1,000% just walking over them in their home. Yeah, you're going to have a lot of problems. And the thing is, like, her problem, though, is because she's an in-law. She can't just be like, get out.
Right.
Or can you? Like, has anybody ever done that?
Like if she was my little sister, I'd have got her ass straight together.
I feel like he should check.
That's what I'm saying.
Like he's not doing anything, no, because
that's what I'm saying, because it's gonna really come down to him, and just like you said, it's gonna cause friction between him and his wife, because you literally allowing your little sister just to kind of just run rogue around
do whatever
the house.
she wants to do.
Yeah, without addressing it and being like,
Yeah,
look, this is her stuff. Like you got to leave her stuff alone. You gotta have some type of gratitude. You gotta have some type of respect.
Yeah.
For what's going on in our house. And I feel like it's really coming down to the brother, that he hadn't really like addressed any of that with her. And it almost sounds like the wife and the sister-in-law, it's like the sister-in-law kind of felt like they buddy, sister, like I can do anything because we had this bonding moment and you was there for me.
Maybe that's what she thinks, though.
Yeah, but you got it all wrong, though. You can't just go in somebody's house and just do those types of things. It don't matter if you're pregnant or you're not pregnant.
I disagree. I think it has a lot to do with her being pregnant in terms of at least the tolerating part. Like why she's tolerating this behavior in her house is because she's pregnant and she has nowhere else to go.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like to an extent she's just tolerating it because she knows that. But at the same time, it's just like, you need to get this girl in check. Either you get her ass in check or she got to go. Like, because this is my house. This is my house. Like,
if I was
I
her,
pulled the my house card.
If I was her, like I said, I don't condone violence, but she probably would have got slapped before I had said something to her. Just for when you got to the nursery part, like that just kind of like struck something in me, because it's like,
not only that, but then
this is what you
that.
had. This is what you had planned for your child, and all the time, all the planning, all the money spent putting this together, and then you lose a child tragically, and then you have somebody in your house that's ungrateful, and then don't even really tell you about the baby shower and have it in your house, and then use your nursery almost as your own. That's hurtful, and it's past disrespectful. Like shit.
It is. I think it's very hurtful.
Yeah, so
it's kind of like a disregard, like, oh well, about your baby, and you didn't, the baby that you didn't have, like next, like
for her to say that though.
I'm just saying, but yeah, let me see if she had any update. Oh, there's an update. Oh, there's a good update too.
What was the update that she slapped her?
Okay. No,
Okay.
let me read the update. So, sorry for any typos and misspelled words. I'm not quite sure if this is the proper way to do an update, but hopefully everyone can see it. First, I just want to address a few comments. You can skip this part if you don't care. I know I had a stillborn. Oh, so she did have it. The only reason I say miscarriage is because that is what my obstetrician told me was happening. Second
Oh,
off,
okay.
some
Okay.
people have been saying this story is fake because of the way I described the argument. Falling to my knees, pure betrayal. Yes, I figured out I spelled it wrong. I can assure you it is not. I cannot make anyone believe me, but this is my life. So you can either think it's fake or not. And here's the update everyone's been asking for. Buckle up, it's a long one. After posting my story on Reddit, I sat on my bed wiping my tears and telling myself I will not take this disrespect. I walked downstairs, shutting my nursery door on the way. I was greeted with everyone comforting my sister-in-law. I kindly asked everyone besides my sister-in-law and husband to respectfully get the fuck out of my house. After all the dirty looks and shaming, it was just my husband, sister-in-law, and myself. They sat themselves on the couch, not saying anything. I sat with them. The silence felt like forever. None of us had anything to say. I knew I'd have to start the conversation. I looked at my husband and said, "Did you decide?" He looked at me just staring. I asked again in a firm tone this time. He ended up mumbling some sort of insult, and I couldn't really make out what he said. Something with bitchy. I stood up and told them both to get
Whoa.
out. They then wanted to talk, telling me this is all a misunderstanding. They're sorry, blah, blah, blah. I grabbed a backpack from my shoe closet and told them to pack their shit. My sister-in-law told me I couldn't just make her leave and I was a horrible person. I laughed in her face and told her this is my house. I can do whatever I wanted. My husband stood next to me and told her it was only for a little while. I turned to him and said, "Oh, you too. Get out." He got all mad and told me we were a married couple and that this isn't how marriage works. I told him, no, it is not. Marriage is where two people support each other and not
There you
treat
go.
their wife like shit. They both ended up leaving after many insults towards me. Oh, but wait, it's not over. This morning, as I was getting ready for a Zoom meeting with a few other coworkers, when my husband showed up, I let him in, telling him to get whatever he needed and to go because I had to work. He started apologizing and telling me he wants to make it right. I told him I just need time away from him. Then he threw in my face, "Well, it's not my fault you lost our children. Maybe this would never happened." My sister was right. You are selfish. I have never ever made my husband feel like he cannot grieve with me over this. Never made him feel less than because of his pain.
Right.
I turned around and slapped him in the face. I never condone violence, and I'm very upset I would ever do that to another human, but I just couldn't deal with this.
There we go.
He took a step back and then threw all of my makeup on the floor, which I get, but then he started breaking all my decor in my bathroom. I yelled at him to stop
Oh.
and that I was sorry, but he just kept going, even going as far as punching a hole in my bathroom wall. It was like I was seeing all of his bottled up emotions from our children's death come out. But he went too far when he tried to grab me. Yelling in my face, I kicked him off and told him to get the fuck out. He walked out of the bathroom and I watched him break a few more items as he left. The second he left, I had a panic attack. Looking at the mess he made, to even just seeing how much he hid his pain, I called my mother and told her everything that has been happening. I don't talk to my family much due to some past trauma with them. She told me she was on her way. The second she got here, I just broke down and she held me. Then she stood up and started taking pictures of everything he broke. I asked her what she was doing and she turned to me and said, "We are suing this piece of shit." I honestly didn't even argue. I was so hurt by everything my husband did to me. My mom packed up my computer and I grabbed a few outfits. My mom and I drove to a hotel and she insisted on staying with me. While I finished up my work, my mom called a locksmith and my attorney. I will be divorcing him as well. So there it is. Here's the update everyone has been waiting for. I feel guilty for just giving up on my husband in 8 years of our marriage, but it's time for a divorce. I can't live like this, and neither can my husband. I wish I could say we moved on, forgave each other, and I forgot to see my sister-in-law have her baby, but that's not reality. If anything else happens, I will let you all know. Thank you guys for the support and help with this situation.
Wow, that's a real unfortunate update right there.
What a sad outcome.
Yeah,
that
because
almost makes me tear up. Like, I feel that's really messed up because I feel like it was his sister that really ultimately was like the icing on the cake for her, because she said that they were already having issues, you know?
Right.
So,
And that was the underlying thing right there. I feel like it just came to a head with the addition of the sister-in-law.
yeah.
That just, like you said, it just made it just completely just boil over.
Yeah, but do
the
you
pot
think,
just
like,
boiled over from
even
that.
the sadness, like you said, the hurt and the pain that she felt like he had bottled up, it all finally started coming out, you know, where but
that could have been frustration from from the miscarriage that she had with the child, but it could have been just like frustration with what they're going through.
what's going on with them
and
too.
then the whole fact of the sister, and then her kicking both of them out. I feel like that had probably more to do with it than anything.
You think?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because
wow. I wasn't expecting for that
I wasn't
to
I
happen.
wasn't expecting that kind of update.
I thought at least they would stay together and try to work it out, or maybe see that they, pursue therapy or something to work through that, because obviously it's very still fresh for her, and as many times as it's happened. So, and even the fact that she had a stillborn baby, I think that just makes it all like hurt even more for,
because that's a very
like,
sensitive part as far as like
absolutely.
losing your child.
Yes.
And then just having somebody in there that's not even like sensitive to that,
Almost yeah.
And just the fact that, the sister-in-law has a baby on the way, and kind of using her pregnancy as an excuse, because like the baby daddy is not even in the picture. That's why I'm like, the sister-in-law, she need to be trying to run down her baby daddy and trying to figure that thing out and try
get
to
that situation worked out
and get some kind of support.
Right.
Because now it feels like the sister-in-law has nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
Because if she had somewhere else to go, like, she would like gladly leave.
Right.
You could tell that she wasn't even trying to leave the house.
Yeah.
So with her
Now
being
that she
20,
done went upstairs and made her a whole
do she got a
nursery.
job?
It didn't say she had a job.
It didn't sound like she had a job.
It didn't sound like
it don't
to
feel
me
like she got a job.
No, it didn't sound like she didn't make mention of it. So my assumption would be she didn't.
So it feels like she's kind of really just like leaning on the support
Right.
of her brother and her
taking
sister-in-law
advantage.
and just taking advantage of it. But yeah, that's a real unfortunate update. Like I said, I don't condone violence. Like I was kind of like being kind of funny with that, but
she really did it.
right. But she slapped her husband, and then they got into a whole domestic dispute.
Right.
Which is really, really sad, and to see that it came to that conclusion, and it got to that extreme.
That only happened because he never had her back. Like, he didn't support her.
No.
So, you know what that feels like.
Yeah.
It does feel like betrayal, especially being that that's your husband, and your husband is not even taking up for you regardless. Like, going back to that whole, like, do you put a relationship, like a friendship or a sistership relationship over your real relationship? And
Right.
I feel like he chose, he did choose.
Yeah. And in some likelihood, like you said, he just don't have what it takes to understand that, like, this is my wife, you're my sister, but there's like a fine line between the two.
Right.
And at the end of the day, if you have your union with your wife, y'all live together, y'all got a home together, like, you got to protect that first.
Yeah.
First and foremost.
But I think the lesson in this too is just like seeing how when you don't put your relationship, your significant other above anybody else, like how that begins to play an effect on them. Like in this case, it was the sister. It was like I guess he was kind of put in a rock and a hard place, being that he was kind of the middleman in between the two of them. But at the same time,
no, I'm not giving him that.
he was like, shoot, well, she's pregnant.
I don't see him as the middleman.
She's allowed to leave food all over the house and not clean up after herself, and you have to pick up her sex toys and feed her. And it doesn't matter that she ate your food because she's pregnant.
Right.
Like,
but see, that's not the middleman. That's just you favoring your sister over your wife.
right.
And
That's that.
I feel like he got what he deserved. In the end, he got his ass kicked out the house.
Yeah.
He tried to come back. He was pissed off, and he just used that as an excuse to just fly off the handle. So, he got what he deserved. She slapped the hell out of him. Like, real talk.
Oh my
Like,
God.
real talk.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, I hope they work it out, or at least she's able to move on.
Yeah.
It looks like that's what she's gonna do.
I hope so too. Like, and I hope she heals from this as well. Like, get yourself some therapy, get yourself some help,
Man,
and heal your trauma, heal your pain, like, and talk to somebody, talk through it. Obviously, it's hurtful and it's still very fresh on the brain. But my advice would just to, get yourself help so you can, have a recovering journey and start moving forward with life.
hell yeah.
And make decisions based off of that. The moving forward part.
Yeah,
So.
I think she'll be all right.
Yeah,
She'll be okay. She sounds like she's very, very stable, and she got her thing.
Right.
She got herself together.
Yeah.
So this is just like one of those times that you just got to go through.
Right.
Go through in life.
Hard times. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Go through it and grow from it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all. Let's move on to the next story. Okay, I have another one.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Am I the asshole for uninviting my mother-in-law to my husband's funeral? Yeah, don't that sound like some shit?
Hold on. Say that title again.
Didn't I tell y'all this was going to be like off the handle today?
Yeah. Unhinged.
Yeah.
Read that again now.
Am I the asshole for uninviting my mother-in-law to my husband's funeral?
Oh, okay. Let's
Tell
roll
me
with
this
it.
don't sound savage like already.
Let's roll.
Okay. I know it sounds bad, but I feel pushed to this. My 40 female husband, 41, just passed unexpectedly less than 3 days ago. It's a complete shock, and I understand everyone is devastated. We have 2 small children, 5 and 6 years old. Kids and I relocated 2 months ago for many reasons, including job promotion, reporting out of a new state, and me needing to be closer to my family after a decade close to his. He was in the process of getting the house ready for sale and joining us in a new state when he passed. After driving 12 hours with the kids to get back and then spending the next morning arranging all services and saying goodbye to him one last time, I am basically ordered to bring my grandkids to the mother-in-law because she needs to see them, in quotes. This was after not showing up to the funeral home to help arrange anything or support in any way. I kindly let her know where we are staying and that she is free to come by and spend as much time with the kids as she wants. To which she tells me I am hateful, disrespectful, and ungrateful, that I never loved him, and asks me if I had just lost a son. As if I did not just lose my partner and
Right.
father to our kids.
Right.
I understand everyone's processing grief differently, but this crossed a line, and I'm not as forgiving as my husband was. I told her in no uncertain terms to get fucked and that she was welcome to have her own services, but she was not wanted or welcome to attend the services I arranged. I feel like my response is appropriate and that a boundary was crossed, but I need to make sure it's not just grief talking. Am I the asshole? And then a few things to clarify. Yes, this is real, and I wish it weren't. I am in a hotel room agonizing over everything and was looking for unbiased opinions because my whole family, who had been beyond supportive, all wanted to throw bags of flaming dog crap at her door for what she said. My mom and oldest from a previous relationship have been letting me get breaks when I need to cry, as I'm trying to not be overly emotional, hysteric in front of my 2 littles. There are moments it feels like my chest is going to crack open. It is a memorial service and not a traditional funeral with the body being laid to rest. He will be cremated, and then we will have a celebration to honor who he is and what he meant to us all. His final viewing was today, which mother-in-law was aware of. She said she couldn't do it, and I understood why, but she didn't even bother to show up to the funeral home to help arrange or pay for anything. My mom has been with me supporting the entire process and went with me to see him one final time so I wasn't alone. Not even an hour after saying goodbye to him, I get a text message spewing venom at me because I won't bring my kids to her. This is also after coming into possession of his phone and reading text messages where she said awful things about me, and my husband would defend me at every turn. And finding out awful things were said to him by his father, things his mother excused and told him not to take personal. None of these things I knew before today. I don't think she's a bad person, but this isn't the first time she's crossed a boundary. For my husband's sake, I would let things go. We lived less than 20 miles from each other for a decade, and the only time there was help is if my husband did everything. I grew tired of it, but never impeded on the relationship she had with her son or the grandkids. This was one of my many reasons I wanted to be closer to my family. I needed more help. My husband knew this. We discussed it often over the last year. I know my mother-in-law is hurting, but we all are. And to think her pain is worse than anyone's, especially his children, is disgusting. And if when I were ever put in her shoes, I would never think it was okay to talk to someone like that, especially if they did what I did today. I would be there to support, lean on each other, not try and use it as competition over whose grief is worse.
Exactly.
I gave her back what she gave and won't accept bullshit apologies. She's free to arrange and pay for a memorial service for him and invite anyone she wants, and even not invite me. She's not welcome at the one I arranged.
I hate to hear these type of like issues with like family, especially when it's over a death.
Isn't that crazy?
Because
though?
obviously they've had a relationship, whether it's a good relationship or a bad relationship. They've had a relationship over a decade.
I wonder why she's
You know?
demanding the children though. Like, why are you demanding that they come? And see, this is a problem I feel like that I have too. I had at one point.
As far as the
you know,
kids, yeah.
just demanding that the kids
Yeah.
come, and it's just like, you're welcome to come see them anytime for as long as you would like. I'm just not going to be sending my kids over there.
Right, when you summon them.
Right.
Mhm.
Because that's what you want. Like,
Right.
so needless to say that they never come.
Yeah.
And then they feel a way about it because it's almost like, they want to say you put in these restrictions and these boundaries and
Yeah.
you're being, difficult and everything else. And it's just like, people don't realize how people are with their kids. Like,
Yeah.
just because you have an authority over him at one point in life as a mom and he's your son doesn't mean that you can control everything around him because that's what you said.
Right. And then now he's not even here.
Right. And he's not even here now, and I think she's even more upset at the fact that she didn't even show up to help with the arrangements.
And didn't pay for anything.
And didn't pay for anything.
And that's the problem I have a lot of times too is, especially like when you have something like so tragic like this for her to lose her husband and now she has to make funeral arrangements.
Yeah.
But then you don't even really get the help from his own mother.
Mm-hmm.
She should have been involved in that
Right.
process. Even if she couldn't pay anything, she could at least came. She could at least really been there to console her daughter-in-law and just really kind of be there
and the
every step of the
grandkids.
way.
Yeah.
I just feel like she's distancing herself from her daughter-in-law, and then for you to say that you need to bring the kids over here when I asked for you to, like that's a no-go. That's a no-go in my book.
Right. Well, and not only that, but she never helped out before with them either.
Mhm.
Which is why she said she moved. Why she said she had to move to a different state, and because she needed to be closer to her family so that she could get the help that she needed.
You get the
because,
support, right?
Right. And I feel like that's important for people who have children. And that's a whole different subject. But
yeah. Because if you live in somewhere where you're not even getting support from supposed family, it just makes it even worse. I feel like it just exacerbates the situation even more because with him passing and then this whole issue with them going back and forth, it's just ugly and when somebody's death is there, it's like you got to really be sensitive to each other. But I understand how grief is. I understand what hurt and pain is.
So do you think that the grandmother's being over the top, or is she just reacting off of the grief? maybe feeling like she wants the grandkids there because,
That's a part of him.
that's a part of him, and she feels like she really wants them to be around. But
Yeah.
I also feel like that's also the reason why the mom would want the kids around.
Exactly.
So it's like,
It's just a lose-lose.
Right.
And it takes like two grown adults and two adults that, that's really here to support each other.
huh,
Not worried about what my needs are and just only worried about my needs. Like, the mother-in-law, she needs to take into account what her daughter-in-law is going through and losing her husband and having children that she has to sit there and look into their eyes every day,
right, Right.
knowing that her husband is gone. It takes her to really like be sensitive to that, and really both of them kind of can go through that grieving process together.
yeah,
And they both got to support each other
Through this whole
through his loss.
yeah.
And it's like it's like you're not getting that from either end.
But
I
I just feel like with whole like death and stuff, especially when it's very unexpected, like, oh my gosh, like if I can't tell you enough how much I relate to this, like I feel like there's so many like people will start pointing fingers at you, blaming you, accusing you, this, that, and the fifth, and really it just starts coming out of nowhere. And at the end of the day, it's like how do I deal? Like how do you deal?
Especially that, because that's like one of the worst times in your life.
Yeah.
And then dealing with death. I just feel like they both are going through a grieving process, but the insensitivity that that the mother-in-law is having towards her is just blowing my mind right now. And I don't really feel like she's being the asshole and not inviting her to the memorial.
I don't know about
And
that.
and it
though.
does.
Like, when I sit here
it gets very, very dicey though. It gets
does,
very tough.
but the more I sit here and I think about that, I'm just like, dang, like, maybe she could sit in the back. Like it's just I don't know. I just in a way I almost feel like.
And
granted,
the thing,
though, she said what she said, so it's like, no, I don't want to see you there. Don't come.
Right.
Don't show up. And it's just like, really, that's where I feel like the emotions of like the feelings are coming into play, because you start saying stuff you don't mean. You say things that, because
it's almost like you're not really thinking in the right state of mind, because you're going through so much.
Yeah.
And how heavy the grief is on you. But I really feel like somewhere, some way, they just gotta come to the table together and sit down and like discuss this and be like, okay, we're gonna come to the memorial.
I'ma tell you though,
we're finna do X, Y, and Z.
No, because if you, not to mention, okay, she also updated us and told her that she also found messages in his phone between her husband and his mom about her talking shit, like talking major shit, big shit about her. Through the text messages, and the husband was still like defending her and stuff like that. So this has been going on. Like the mama's been on this, so this wasn't thinking back on it. I'm just like, no, she been on this. Like she been on this hateful thing with disliking her for a long time. And now that this situation's come up and it's just like, you want what you want. No, like, no, you got me messed up. Hell no. Like, find you something else to do. Make your own damn memorial service for your son. Since you didn't even want to be involved in that.
That shit just sucks though, because it's like, that's when family's supposed to come together. And just to see that it's really like tearing them apart even more. And
just
like
think about this was gonna happen though.
And just think about what the son wanted.
Think about how this is going to play out, like in the long run. If he was still here, how this all would have ended up transpiring. Like, because he was going to be in between the fight of his mom and his wife forever, it seems like.
Potentially,
obviously, she was already on this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, no, hell no, I wouldn't invite her. I don't feel bad. She's not an asshole at all.
For not inviting her.
I think, like, she might end up, like, potentially regretting that. But
that's what I'm saying.
If it's a cremation, she can have her own damn service. Like, make your own service.
No, I mean,
why?
I just feel like,
so it's not like they got to keep the body out any longer.
It has nothing to do with the body. It's really just in regards to like in his memory, like having a memorial, having a service for him, and feeling like you got to have it in two different places at two different times.
Well, I mean,
like we're gonna have one memorial service.
You gonna make him feel extra special.
No.
He get two services instead of one.
No, either we're gonna have one memorial service. And you're going to have to make a choice to either come here or not.
It's true.
And you can come and say your piece.
But then you can't tell somebody else that they can't go and have another memorial service. Like, if she wanted to do that, she could.
Yeah, I mean she can, but for me, I'm big on family, so it's like, let's just get through this hurdle. Let's have this memorial together. We don't even have to say nothing to each other. We can just keep it cordial. We don't have to let everybody know. We don't have to let everybody in on our business and let everybody know what's going on and to see how ugly it is.
Yeah.
I feel like at that point in time, especially with his passing and going through what y'all going through, like you got to put on like a united front. At least for him,
yeah, and
at least for his sake,
right, and the kids also,
and the children,
and the kids, yeah,
because at the end of the day, they're gonna remember that.
I'm just curious to know like how this is gonna affect their relationship in the future, especially hers with the grandkids, because I feel like right now, like how this sounds, she's never gonna send them kids to her,
and that's why I feel like it'll make it even worse if they have like separate memorials, because now you're just completely everything is just discombobulated. There's no togetherness, and again, like I said, there's grandchildren, there's children that's involved in this, and it's like, what is the memory gonna be in their minds when their father passed? That they didn't see their grandparents, and they had all these issues going on, and y'all couldn't even come together, for my father's passing and for his memorial.
Yeah.
So again, like I said, I feel like they just gotta suck it up and find some way to make it amicable so they can like come to the table and just, at this point, let's just have a memorial for him.
Okay.
And let's just get over all of this other stuff. And if the relationship is strained after that, then it just is what it is. But I feel like you only have one opportunity to send somebody away when they pass.
Right.
So
I'll go do it by myself.
So some kind of way y'all got to do it together.
Okay, so you think they should do it together?
Yeah, I can never see somebody having two different funerals or having two different memorials. I couldn't.
You have to understand the level of toxicity we're talking about, though. Like, for somebody to make a decision like that and actually ultimately make a decision, a choice like that, they have to be feeling strongly about how they feel to make that decision. Like, and it's not going to be just based off of one thing. Like, I feel like people you get fed up with the bullshit. Like she sees these text messages in his phone. She sees like the enabling behavior from the dad. The husband is defending her. Like, this was constant. He was constantly dealing with this, but he never let her know that.
Yeah.
So now that she knows, like she had an inclination about it before, but now it's just
now she see it.
Oh, now I know who you really are.
Yeah, you have evidence of it.
No, and my initial thought would be like, bitch, stay far the fuck away from me. Period.
And I can see that.
Like, so to a degree, I'm like, no, I don't. I'm all about the family thing too, but like when you get to a point where somebody's pushed you that far, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, and I can see that, but again, like I said, in my mind, let's just have this memorial. Let's try to make a united front for him, and after that, hey, peace be gone. Bye.
That's it. Tear your ass.
Bye,
okay.
B. Like, but like I said,
never to be seen from again.
But like I said, for this 1 or 2 hours that we finna have this memorial, like I'm gonna let you make it.
Yeah, get your act right.
Yeah. I'm not even gonna look at you, but. Like I said, I'm a hold firm. I'm gonna make sure that everybody's here in the building together, just so she's not regretting something later on down the line. That's all I'm saying.
I don't think you can,
because she don't have to say nothing to her.
I don't think she'll be. The
mother-in-law can get up there and say everything that she want to say about her son. She don't even have to look my way, but just for right now, and just for the simple fact of her husband, like, come on, let's give it one good heave ho.
No. No.
I feel like that though.
I'm just like, no. Have your own
It's messy.
service.
Yeah, it's
like
messy
I said.
though. Yeah, it's messy.
Yeah. And then you can go and explain why you had to have a whole different second memorial service for your whole son.
But to clear her heart and to clear her mind, what I would do, just turn the other cheek, and I would invite the mother-in-law and the father-in-law. And if they don't show up, at the memorial, the one memorial that I made, then it is what it is. It's okay. Don't show up. But I'm gonna be the bigger person and invite you and just do it on the strength of my husband.
Forget the bigger person crap. No.
Okay, it is what it is. Yeah, it is what it is.
Okay. That's we're gonna have to agree to disagree.
We have to.
No, I don't. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, forget the bigger person. Y'all let us know what y'all think about
Absolutely.
that too. You know, how y'all feel about that. Keep in mind everything that I just said, and to BJ's point, because I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
I do see your point.
Yeah, because death is something you can't come back from.
No,
it
isn't. It isn't. And it's a very sensitive thing, but at the same time, I feel like when you're dealing with people like that, you'd rather not.
It gets
like,
tough.
Because
And
for me, I'm just like, stay away from me.
Yeah.
You know, like.
yeah, it gets tough. It gets real tough and the decision making that you got to make is really going to be based on.
I feel like she's been the bigger person, being that she was always the one in the background taking care of the kids, dealing with the things she was, and then all along the mother-in-law was just talking mad shit about it, like to begin with. So it's just like, I don't care, like, no.
I got you.
You know. So next.
Yeah, much love to her too.
Yeah,
I hope they work it out.
I do too.
Yeah,
I do too. Like, just for the sake of the grandkids, at least.
For the sake of the
least
grandkids, and again, like I said, if even if she doesn't, repair her relationship with them and she go her separate ways, then it just is what it is.
Yeah.
But I just want her to make the best decision right now.
Yeah.
For the kids and her husband that passed away.
And I'll be sure, y'all, I didn't say this, I'll be sure to leave these links in the description if y'all want to check these stories out and see what the commentary was behind it. But, all right. Am I the asshole for telling my mother-in-law I will continue celebrating my daughter's birthday every year despite what happened on this day?
Okay.
My husband, 37, passed away a year ago from a car accident when he was on his way to celebrate our daughter's 5th birthday. It was so sudden and devastating for my daughter especially. I got the news from my pastor, but I didn't interrupt my daughter's birthday and waited till the evening to tell my family. Generally, my relationship with my in-laws is good. They supported me throughout the hard period in the past months. Days ago was my husband's anniversary as well as my daughter's 6th birthday. Days prior, I brought up my daughter's birthday and asked my in-laws if they wanted to join us to plan something together since my daughter needed support. They were shocked that I was even thinking about throwing a party, end quote. Knowing that this is the same day my husband passed away, I told them I'd be taking the morning to celebrate his 1st anniversary, then celebrate my daughter's 6th birthday in the evening. Mother-in-law got mad and warned me about having a birthday party, but I cut the conversation right then. We met at the cemetery at noon, then I got home at 4 just in time to start the birthday celebration. We had some of her supportive friends and parents come and brought handmade gifts for my daughter using pictures of her dad. After the party was over, one of my daughter's friends' mom posted pictures of it on Facebook, and my sister-in-law saw it by coincidence. Sister-in-law and her mother came over later and blew up at me for throwing my daughter a birthday party at her dad's anniversary, despite their disapproval. Mother-in-law said I was teaching my daughter to be callous with no sympathy instead of taking the day to mourn her father's death properly.
I don't agree with that.
Right, me neither. I argued with them and said that my daughter deserves to have a birthday celebration just like any other normal kid, and sternly said I'll continue to celebrate her birthday every year despite what happened. Mother-in-law said it was highly disrespectful of me and kept saying I messed up and caused the entire family more hurt on this awful day. I told her to leave, and she said she won't forget this massive display of disrespect I showed her and her family on her son's anniversary till the day she dies. This caused others to call me callous and irrational, and although my brother-in-law sided with me and said my daughter shouldn't suffer on top of her trauma, I felt like I might have been disrespectful to my in-laws. You know, I've seen a number of people asking what my husband would have wanted. My husband always felt excited whenever our daughter's birthday came. He experienced the loss of a child from his previous relationship, and it affected him and his personality a lot. He always told me that he was blessed to have our daughter in his life and took every chance he got to spend time with her, even though he used to work long shifts and wasn't always able to stay home with us. I have to say, in a couple weeks prior to his death, He stayed with us most of the days and constantly talked about missing us despite being right here with him. He was very emotional in those 2 weeks. Am I the asshole?
That can make a brother eyes tear up right there. Just knowing what
I don't think she's
they're
an
going
asshole.
through. She is not an asshole. And again, this is another example of people, dealing with death in a completely different way, grieving in a completely different way. Because the way that I feel, with him passing away on his daughter's birthday,
Yeah.
I don't feel like every year that that I'm not saying that her daughter is suffering, but I'm just saying that why not acknowledge your daughter's, your granddaughter's birthday, make it as a celebration, make it celebratory,
Right.
Rather than just sulking and bringing the energy down. I feel like every year that you just want to sit here and just bask in his memory is good, but if he passed away on his daughter's birthday, like you should be celebrating that every single year. Like everybody should be coming together for her birthday, and
But
everybody just enjoying it and celebrating
life.
Celebrating her birthday, but at the same time, like celebrating him too.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just like, why can't you do both? Why is that a bad thing?
It's almost like they want to like grieve and like today's the anniversary, and we're supposed to like sit around and cry and be down, but
maybe it was because it's the first year anniversary. Maybe that was why, like, they just wanted to have that day to just have that day. But then at the same time, it's just like, well, that's taken away from the child. Why doesn't she deserve to have a birthday party?
Right.
She's a kid, and to me, I feel like a child that young really wouldn't completely understand that anyway. So it's not like she's gonna, obviously, I'm sure she knows and understands that her dad is gone, but she wouldn't understand the magnitude of
his loss.
Right. But then I don't think that she'd understand why she couldn't have a birthday party. You know what I mean? Like from a kid standpoint.
And a lot of it is about, and this should also be like a reminder to everybody too, as far as like, make every day count, make life count. When you have time to celebrate life, like celebrate it.
Right.
And for this to be like the first year that he's passed, like I feel like, people die. And you feel the hurt, you feel the pain, you feel the grief, but at the same time, like life does go on,
right?
And like I said, I can't sit here and cast any aspersions on how people grieve because everybody's going to grieve in their own way. But I just really feel like to really like, make it right.
Yeah.
With him passing on her birthday is to celebrate her birthday too. Even though you feel hurt and you feel pain, you're gonna feel that for the rest of your life. But for this day, let's like really celebrate life. Let's really be happy. Let's really be joyous.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like you said, the daughter, the little girl, like she's real young, so she doesn't understand it. But it's about like the parents, the adults coming together on this day and really like remembering him, and really just uplifting everybody's spirits today because it's he died tragically. It's real tough. It's hard.
Right.
But
all the more reason why you should have some type of celebration. We are celebrating the life of a young person,
of a life that was lost, and we're not celebrating his life because he lost his life, but you're just celebrating him.
It's celebrating her life.
Exactly.
Is what I'm saying. Yeah, celebrating her life because it's her, her birthday. So yeah,
I just don't understand it. Like, and like I said, I'm saying it again, but the grieving process is different for everybody. So it just maybe it's still fresh for them. So for them, the in-laws, they're still down. You can tell that you can hear it, that they're still down. They're still in the pits. They're still grieving pretty hard.
Yeah.
If a year has passed and they just want to like grieve and they just don't even want to do anything about a birthday. They don't even want to celebrate a birthday.
The thing is that when you have when you lose somebody, like that first year is always very, 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 very hard. Like because you experience all those first times without. Yeah. That's Christmas, true. Holidays, Thanksgiving, your birthday, their birthdays, and like whatever the celebrations are, right?
Yes,
like everything that reminds you of them. And in the moments where you really want to be with that person, hit the hardest the very first year around. Like
that's a fact.
Period. So it just happens that he died on her birthday, on the way to his daughter's birthday. So in a way, I'm just like, I kind of feel like they want to. It's almost like the child is being penalized in a way for them not wanting to celebrate her birthday because of his death.
Mhm.
And I don't know. I feel like if she feels like that's something that her husband would have wanted and how much he appreciated to be around them and cared for them the way that she says that she does, then he would want her to have a party too.
That's what I
Like,
feel deep down inside. With him passing on her birthday, on the
Yeah.
way to the birthday, like I feel like for the husband's sake, for like his memory, like that's what he would want
Right.
for us to carry on and to
This was the
celebrate
party he
her.
wanted to be at.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like he would have been here for this party.
That's real tough. Like when you started saying it, I kind of felt like I'm just like, wow, like I just feel like there's, she's stuck in a rock and a hard place.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And again, that grieving process is a bitch.
it is.
Because just
That
like,
it
and then
is.
I like that you brought up that like this is like the first year, so it's all new, it's
Right.
all fresh.
That's probably what it makes it hardest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, people really be going through like some real life shit.
Let me see what somebody said. Okay, someone says, let me say this as a husband and a father. If I should happen to pass away on my daughter's birthday, I would be furious if anyone did anything to take away from her happiness or celebrating her birthday. If anybody wanted to have a remembrance ceremony for me, let them do it a week before or something after, but definitely not at the expense of my child's birthday. You did nothing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So that's best way to sum that up.
That's a real good candid comment there too.
Yeah.
Very, very, very candid, because I feel exactly the same way with that too.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
I do too. All right, let's move on. Am I the asshole for ordering a giant steak against my mother-in-law's will, actually eating it?
What?
I gotta finish it. And refusing to cover the bill. Okay. Am I the asshole for ordering a giant steak against my mother-in-law's will, actually eating it, and refusing to cover the entire bill? How you gonna order a steak like
Petty City, let's go.
It sounds like you're the asshole just from the question. Okay, yeah. We go out to eat and I order the most expensive thing on the menu. Okay, because my mother-in-law is paying for it. Hell yeah, I'm going to get what I want.
Oh,
Okay?
shit, come on.
Let me get the biggest steak you got. Okay? Okay. All right. This is ridiculous, and I can't believe I have to ask if I'm an asshole, but here we go. I, female 27, have been together with my husband Nate for over 10 years and married for 4. I don't have the best relationship with my mother-in-law, as she always seems to police what I eat. Everyone in my family have fast metabolism. I am also working with horses, so due to this, burn a lot of calories, talking about 2.5 to 3 calories a day, and usually
Wow.
have rather large meals to get the energy back, and I still remain skinny. Now to the event. My in-laws invited me and Nate for dinner last Friday. I was very busy back then and haven't eaten since about 6 or 7 a.m. and also didn't have a chance to have a snack before heading to the restaurant, so I was starving. I usually have something to eat before seeing my mother-in-law to avoid her comments. Due to this, I have ordered a large steak at the restaurant, which was meant for 2 people. It also came with prawns, bacon, and 2 sides.
Prawns.
I know. Please note, it was not the most expensive item on the menu, as some of my in-laws had significantly pricier dishes, and we were all splitting the bill anyway. My mother-in-law started making comments how I shouldn't be ordering what I can't eat, since even her husband wouldn't be able to finish the dish, let alone someone my size. I smiled and said, I haven't eaten since earlier this morning and I'm starving. If I don't finish the steak, I would take the leftovers home.
Okay, duh.
Right. I have easily finished the steak and was waiting for my dessert when my mother-in-law flipped. She said, I am attention seeking and was putting on a show. She also said, I have made my father-in-law and brother-in-law feel uneasy and that a woman shouldn't eat that much. It is unhealthy and something is wrong with me. She has then demanded me and Nate to cover the entire bill as she wasn't planning on such a big expenditure. In quotes.
Okay, I mean, I can see that.
I said we are absolutely not covering the entire bill since it was meant to be split equally, and reminded her of the dishes she ordered that were significantly more expensive compared to my steak, including her starter. As a result, I was called an asshole who had ruined a family dinner. Nate is on my side, but most of my in-laws are making very passive-aggressive posts on social media about it and keep sending me different articles of what might cause excessive eating.
Is she the asshole for ordering a steak that's meant for two and then eating prawns? No, she got me though. When she said I was waiting for my dessert. I was like, ooh, she and dessert?
Dang, so she just went in. I'm just like, but why would she feel like she's so entitled to tell this woman about how she eating and what she shouldn't be eating and what women should be eating? Like, mind your business is how I feel.
Yeah.
You know? But I feel like I was invited, okay? You invited me.
You invited me.
Now, how did we get invited and now I'm the one that has to pay the whole bill?
Exactly.
No.
I feel that too.
No. You split. We gonna add up what we had.
Okay, so she works with horses. Okay, so it sounds like that she's constantly active. She's constantly moving, doing things. If she's saying that she's burning between 2,000 and 3,000 calories a day,
right?
Okay, so she's already probably like a smaller woman. She said that she was skinny,
she's
right?
Smaller, yeah. But riding horses, you lose a lot of calories from that. Like
right, whatever you're doing with horses, you out and about, you outside all the time.
Yeah, that's a real job.
Okay, when do people normally go eat? Probably about between 6 and 8 p.m., right?
Right.
Okay, so she hasn't eaten since 6 or 7 a.m., hadn't eaten all day, and so she's like, okay, we're finna go out to eat at a nice steakhouse with the in-laws. I'm just like, what's wrong with her ordering what she want to order if she's been invited?
Nothing.
And supposedly that you're going to be footing the bill for everything.
Well, not only that, but I think her biggest issue is that like her mother-in-law's always making these little comments
You want
about,
me to order off the kids menu? Like,
yeah, like she always got something to say about how skinny like I am, and so for her to just jump up and eat a whole bunch of food, and now you like you're just putting on a show.
But why is that her business?
That's not really real. You're just trying to prove a point. Yeah, I need you to get your ass up from the table.
Yeah, but
and leave me alone.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, why is that her business by what I eat? What I eat don't make you shit.
Right.
Period.
Right.
And for me, if I knew that my mother-in-law is really like nitpicky about that, and she likes to make all these like sly comments, like first thing I'm gonna do, like when I order, since she's footing the bill, where that 40-ounce tomahawk steak at? For 3 people. I'm gonna order the biggest ass tomahawk steak that I can order.
That you can get on the menu. But see, my thing was like, why would she try to make her pay for something and then everybody else at the table had stuff that was even more expensive than what she had?
Right.
So it was almost like she was just looking for a reason to pick at her.
She targeting her.
For
whatever reason it is. And probably the mother-in-law is probably jealous because she sounds like she's nice and petite. She probably has a nice shape. She not fat.
Maybe.
I just feel like maybe she's like picking at her and just finding like something. Just finding something to pick at her.
I think it's just that she don't like her.
Just to cause a problem and to argue with her.
I truly think that she just doesn't like her. And so
you have to be.
Come on.
In the story, she already said that, my mother-in-law already kind of makes these little sly gestures and say these things about me and my figure and how I eat. Like you said, it's just like she's just trying to find an argument to argue about something just to get on her damn nerves.
Don't they do that though?
And she getting on my damn nerves right now.
Don't they do that though? It's just like you start finding reasons just to pick and nitpick for no reason. When you get to that point, I'm just like, okay, I just think she don't like you.
She just don't like you.
She just didn't like you, babe.
And right. She does right. Right. There you go. Come on now. Talk about it. Speak on it.
She just didn't like you.
Yeah.
that's the look of me just looking like, oh, I can just say so much about that. I
And,
can
and
say so
just
much.
go in. Just go in on her ass.
Yeah. You got to decipher where petty kicks in, and really the pettiness kicks in is because they just don't like you. So it's like you just start picking at them.
Yeah, but you got to
like,
match her pettiness too in that situation. Sometimes it's okay to be petty when somebody else is being petty, especially when it's something as small as us going out to eat in a restaurant.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to be petty and just do some things that's just going to get on your damn nerves.
Period. Yeah.
For real.
I feel that, though. I feel that. Yeah, y'all.
Because she doesn't like her. We had our own hurdles to kind of that we had to like go through, dealing with petty, dealing with in-laws, dealing with so many different dysfunctional dynamics. I'm glad that we did do a podcast and did an episode just talking about like, am I the asshole regarding like in-laws, because like I said, it just kind of brings me back to what we were dealing with. Dealing with that dynamic.
Yeah. It's not fun either.
It's not.
That's what we should talk about next time. It's like the dysfunction in like families and like living through it and surviving it and coming out on the other side of that. Cause man.
And because there's a lot of people out there that's dealing with the exact same issue, especially when you go down that forum, as far as like in-laws, you see so many different situations where people are dealing with people of the other end of the family.
Right.
And feeling like you outcasted and feeling like, you're the problem when a lot of times it's like
they
you're
are the problem.
Yeah,
they are the big problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well.
Yeah, we definitely need people to drop comments and really kind of like.
That's a story for another day.
It is.
It seems like, shoot, for a while it was like, that's the story of my life. It's just shit. You can't get out of this. It's a mess.
Yeah.
It's a mess.
Yeah, and we're going to need everybody's help on these too. Like really like chime in and give us y'all thoughts, y'all experiences just regarding, even if they're not like in-laws, maybe they were like, your girlfriend's parents or your boyfriend's parents.
Yeah.
Like really chime in.
I feel like too, that makes a big difference in people's relationship, like the success factor and like people who are married and staying married and stuff like that. Like,
because marriage is already difficult on its own. At times.
But then when you have people that are from like on the outside so badly wanting to just be on the inside to control everything that's going on within the two of you,
and to eventually make what you have going on crumble.
Right. and it just gets to a point where it's like, man, like I'd be curious to know, like, yeah, we'd have to get into that.
We definitely going. We are.
We'd have to get into that.
So yeah, everybody will have to stay tuned for that. Because we have some stories, we have some things that people like are really going to want to hear about us in general as just people, and things that we've kind of went through, our trials and tribulations, and that's what this is about too, as well, as far as like talking about those things, because we get those questions all the time, like regarding us and the topics that we cover, and we definitely gonna like dive into it and just get more personal.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah,
that's something we can look forward to. I'm actually, because I could talk forever about stuff like that. Like so much so I could say so much stuff that half the shit that comes out of my mouth probably wouldn't even sound like it's real. That's gonna wrap this episode. These have been fun. I love doing the Reddit stories because I feel like we can laugh a little bit and kind of let loose a little bit and listen to these crazy stories, because hearing how relatable some of this stuff can be sometimes, though, it just blows your mind.
That's the biggest part for me, is that it really hit home.
Yeah, same. Same. So, y'all tap in. Let us know what y'all think about this down in the comment section. And, your answers and responses to these Reddit questions. Also, make sure y'all can check out the links to these stories down in the description. And shoot, if y'all enjoyed it, give us a big thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe, smash the notification bell so you don't miss any videos from Asia and BJ. If you over on YouTube, if you're listening to us on the streaming platform, tap in. Make sure you hit that download button.
Hit that button.
Leave us a review. Show us some love. Share these videos, y'all. Like, that's the only way we gonna make it, okay? Yeah. Y'all got to share these videos and put them out there for everybody to see.
Absolutely, because we got a message and we trying to spread it.
Yeah, y'all. Okay, so hug your babies, kiss your loved ones, pet your dogs, y'all. I love y'all so much
Absolutely.
for everything y'all do for us. We could not be any of what we are without any one of y'all. And for that, we are both truly thankful. Y'all stay up. Have a great day. We're going to see y'all later on this week. And shoot, stay safe, stay healthy. We'll be back soon.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Peace and blessings. And
Bye.
go Cowboys.
You these damn Cowboys.
Yeah.
Bye, y'all.